Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, hi, my name is Jennifer, and today is a salty Saturday and the worst products of 2022. So if you're interested in seeing that, just stay tuned. Everyone, if you're brand new to the channel, hi, as I said, my name is Jennifer. I was a makeup artist for Chanel half a lifetime ago, and here on my channel I talk about all things luxury, beauty, makeup, fashion, runs the gamut. I put up videos several times a week, and if you're interested in seeing more of the videos like this one today, make sure you're subscribed in the button below and hit that notification bell so you see when any new videos pop up. And if you enjoy this video, whether you'd like to do it now or at the end of the video, please hit that thumbs up button. It really does help my channel grow. So today, and warning everyone, is a little bit of a salty Saturday. If you have not seen a salty Saturday before, basically I have a series where every once in a while my saltier side comes out, and we have nicknamed it Salty Saturday. It didn't start that way. It just sort of grew on its own. And I thought, considering that I was in that mood, why not film the 2022 worst products? So let me say a couple of things as caveats. One, these are the worst products to me. These are my personal opinions. If you disagree with all of them, that's okay. It's just makeup, it's just beauty. And these are things that didn't work for me. In some cases, these are products that I think are, in my opinion, bad. Like I just don't think they were made well, or there's a defect, or there's something wrong with them. And other things just don't work for me, and it's really possible they work extremely well for somebody else. You know, that happens sometimes. You just use something and it's like, oh, this is terrible, and other people love it. So I'd love to hear your comments in the sections below. If there's something here that, works extremely well for you, I'd love to hear it, and that's awesome. The way I've done this today, I'm breaking it down by brand. So we're going to go through the ones that have fewer items and move up to the ones that have the most. Interesting, there's some products that I don't really have a worst of. There were a number of things during the year where I didn't like them, but they're not the worst. They're just things that I was just like, meh, they're okay. But these are the things that I, for one reason or another, and I'll explain as I go through them, I consider them to be the worst. So let's start with Makeup by Mario. I am not one of the people who disliked the Ethereal Eyes palette. I actually really like that one. It works extremely well for me. I think it works better with a primer, just my 2 cents. The Gerard Cosmetics primer works really well with it. And I think it can look quite beautiful, and it does have an ethereal, soft look. If you're one of those people who doesn't like it, I get why you wouldn't. I could see the other side of it, but for me, I think it's good and I like it. I think it's a little overpriced. I got it 20% off, so I was fine with that. But it doesn't fall into my worst category. What goes in my worst category is the Skin Perfector. I have this in light, and I can't get this to work. Like I said, I was a makeup artist for years. I trained when I was younger. I'm also a lawyer. Life is weird. And, those two sides of my brain require, I love aesthetics and makeup and beauty, but I also have a very analytical, like, things must work kind of side. So form for just form's sake, I can't. That just doesn't work for me. And although this looks really cool in the packaging because you've got the gradation, it just doesn't work. Like, I don't understand how it's supposed to work. So I think that's the side of me that just really dislikes it, because it's like supposed to be a skin perfector, an overall powder, and then you've got like the bronzer, the contour, the highlighter, but you can't, it doesn't make sense to have all those three things in one powder. I don't get it. So, and I don't know how that perfects anything. So I don't like it. I'm not saying it couldn't work for someone. It probably does, but I don't see the point. I find often when products are supposed to be like that all in one, or it does everything, that it annoys me and it never works. Again, my perspective, but that's just what happens. Hermes. Hermes, I've had a love and hate relationship with Hermes. I love Hermes, the brand. I think it's way overpriced for what it is. I think a lot of things are over, especially nowadays. I'm just like, really? It's $20,000 for a bag? Okay. Anyway, it's off topic. I have Hermes scarves. I do not own yet an Hermes bag. I'm working on that. Because they're ridiculously expensive. And I love the aesthetic. I really do think they make beautiful things. And some of their makeup I like. So their glosses, I at first was kind of like, I've actually grown to really like their lip oils is what I meant. I really like their lip oils. I think their lip oils are good. There's a couple other products that I think their lipsticks I think are good. I don't love them, but I think they're good. The powder though, really it just did not, their blushes are okay. The powder just, it's fine. Like, I like it. It's not, I shouldn't even say I like it. For what it is, I find it to be annoying. Yeah, I feel like, again, I think this goes into the category of like, if it's going to be Hermes and you're going to spend $60 or whatever this was, I don't even remember at this point, because it's Hermes and there's a name attached to it, I feel like it's even more of an offense for the product to be bad. I just feel like, you know, you're Hermes, you know the expectation is here. Like, you know that. So the fact that the powder is just kind of like, meh, doesn't really do anything. It's not great, not terrible. I mean, it didn't super dry out my skin. I have very dry skin. But it didn't actually enhance it either. It didn't make it look better. And it didn't, I didn't see that it did anything. So I was just like, yeah, this is a huge letdown. And I put that on a worse list because again, the expectation needs to be, you're Hermes, like live up to that. So I find that worse, which is why it's on the worst list. Charlotte Tilbury. I don't have a ton on the list for Charlotte Tilbury. In fact, I have one product. There was a lot that came out this year that I was just like, again, it's fine. You know, she had a face palette. It was fine. A couple of lipstick shades, which again, were fine. But they're not like the revolutionary, in my opinion, when they first came out and she had the eye sticks and the matte lipsticks and just the Pillow Talk and liquid contour that she has and highlighters. They're amazing. And those were just so impressive, like when she first came out. I feel like I haven't seen that from Charlotte Tilbury in a very long time. It's not that her products come out and they're bad, because most of the time they're just like, oh, these are good. But I feel like it, you know, in the beginning it was like, oh my goodness, I haven't seen this before. Like this is really impressive. And I don't, you know, I feel like it's lost a lot of that. Maybe that's just me. But the one product that I would say is just bad is the Pillow Talk Multi Glow. I thought I had given it away or lost it. No, apparently I still have it. And I probably still have it because I really like the way it looks. Again, aesthetics. I do like the way it looks. I think it's really, really cool. I like the tufting, the way it looks. This looks terrible on it. And yeah. Again, I think it's that multi-purpose thing. Like there's different shades in here. And I think one shade has more like sparkle than the rest. And when you put it on, it's just not pretty. I mean, it's okay, but it's kind of just sparkly and it kind of accentuates, at least I find that it accentuates pores. And, you know, the shade is pink basically, which is Pillow Talk. I get that. But then why make it 4 different colors in here? Like, you're just going to blend them together anyway. I think similar to the Makeup by Mario, I don't understand the purpose of it. So, it didn't work for me. Rose Ink. This is her bronzer. I tried a lot of cream bronzers this year. I did a video on it. If I can remember to link it, I will. And this one is Parrot K. And it's the only light shade that she has. Two things, it's got a weird texture now that it's sat in my drawer for a while, which is fine. I mean, you can't keep these things forever, and cream products especially go bad. So it's been a while, so you know, that's possible. But also the color. I don't know who this is gonna look good on. And I'm being, like, I understand that there are people who have like yellow undertones in their skin, golden undertones, olive undertones, all kinds. But this is like orange. And you can see it more in my hand because my hands are actually lighter than my face because my face, well, one, I have bronzer on today, but also because my face has rosacea, so it actually has more pigment to it. But yeah, it's like orangey and it's like a yellow orangey. I just don't think that's going to look good on most people. or maybe anyone. And if it does, if somebody has it out there and it works for them, let me know why it works for you. Because again, bronzer and contour definitely needs to be like a cooler tone. Bronzer, yes, you definitely want it to be more bronze, like a golden or maybe even like a reddish. This though, orange, I've never seen anyone who bronzes well, who tans, who's orange. My husband has a beautiful tan. Like it's gorgeous. It's like this golden, can't even explain it. It's stunning. And I obviously do not tan, but his is beautiful. And it's definitely warm toned, but it's not orange. It's like golden, you know what I mean? And so this, again, I don't like it, but I really don't understand the color choice. And hopefully it works for somebody out there, because I hope there was somebody who was like, I can't find a shade, and then they found it in that. So hopefully it works for somebody. All right. Suqqu. I don't usually have something by Suqqu because Suqqu does an incredible job with all their makeup. I always find with Suqqu that I see the stuff online and I'm like, it's pretty, but I don't need it. And then I buy it and I'm like, oh, this is so much better. So much better in person. Eyeshadows are beautiful. Melting blushes may be my favorite blush formula actually out there right now. Like completely, just saying. Totally worth getting the blushes. The eyeshadows are worth getting, but there's a lot of them, so you can kind of decide which ones are your color story. And the powder, the new lavender powder, I don't think that's available anymore, but they did a fantastic job with that. But they have this product that is Suqqu Glow Touch Eyes. And they've had it before, and this is the blue one. I'll give you the number. And it is really pretty. Like, I think it's actually a really pretty product. The problem is you only can use it by itself. So you can use it on your eyes and you can put it down on your eyes and it can be like really glowy and really pretty, but it's very almost like holographic. And so there's not really a lot of places that I can wear this, like for work or for my job or even just like out, because I don't feel particularly comfortable with it. You can put stuff over it. You can put shadow over it once it dries down. But when you put shadow over it, it kind of loses its, it's special because of the way that it looks and the holographic nature of it. So when you put something over it, it kind of loses some of that. But you can't put it over eyeshadow, because the minute you put it over eyeshadow, any type of powder, it takes it off. So for me, it was a fail because the nature of it, the thing I like about it, I'd want to put over a shadow to like intensify a shadow to make it more like glimmering, but you can't really do that because it just wipes away anything that's underneath. You can put it down on your eyes as your eyes, with nothing on your eyes, and then you can put a powder over it. But again, I feel like that loses some of the special nature of the product, which defeats the purpose. At least it did on me. Again, maybe this works for other people and it just doesn't work for me, but I really couldn't get it to deliver what I wanted from it. Okay, next is Chantecaille. And again, I don't usually have a ton from Chantecaille, if much. Did I have anything last year? I can't really think of anything that totally disappointed me from Chantecaille. The thing that I picked this year is the highlighter. And let me explain why. It's not really a bad highlighter. It's fine. Like, it's nice. It's a nice highlighter. Like, talking to myself here. It's a nice highlighter. It has like a peachy kind of tone and it's pretty. The thing is though, and again, this has something to do, I think, similar with the Hermes conversation that I was having earlier with myself, with all of you. I have come to expect so much more from Chantecaille. Some of their products are literally like my favorite products of all time. And I wouldn't want to be without those types of products. So when something comes out for a holiday, and this was holiday, that the packaging is underwhelming, in my opinion, right? I mean, it's fine, but it's underwhelming. And you know what they can do because you love the giraffe and the cheetah and the Black Panther. and you love the pearls from last year, and there's other packaging that you have from like 5 years ago, which is like amazing, and you see that, and the product inside is kind of like, it's a huge letdown. So the product itself is not bad. In fact, I like it. And for someone as pale as I am, it actually works really well. And that, along with their blush, Lotus Blush, actually has become very much a favorite of mine, even though at first I didn't particularly like it, because it's really good for work. I mean, like, it's perfect for me. As pale as I am and as conservative as my business life is, it literally is perfect. And it looks beautiful. But it's only going to work on a small portion of people. But the packaging still is huge, underwhelming for me, and a big disappointment, which I think qualifies it for a worst list, right? Because it's, you know, it can do so much better. You know, it can be so much better, and you expect so much better. And you'll see on my best list that there's, you know, quite a bit of Chantecaille. So, like, what happened here? Next is Pat McGrath. I'm going to talk about Pat McGrath a little bit as a general statement, but I will call out one palette. This is the Belle of the Ball, and this is the whole Bridgerton collection. And there's a lot of Bridgerton this year, to be honest with you. And I feel like, I'm not sure what it is, but there's something about the last couple of collections where I've just been a little bit underwhelmed. And I am a huge Pat McGrath fan. I've always liked Pat McGrath, and her motherships are amazing. And her mothership that came out this year, it's really good. It's not my favorite, but honestly, the formula is amazing. It's not that. It's just, it feels like there's a lot of pink, and there's a lot of that like light blue, and then more pink. Now, again, for those of you out there who absolutely love that color story, maybe you're just enthralled and incredibly excited that that's what it's been. But I don't know. I just kind of been like, eh. And then like her recent release with the 5 pans were fine, but they were a little underwhelming in my opinion. The Mega was good. I liked it, but not my favorite. And now she's just released the Star Wars collection, and I don't actually know if I'm going to be picking stuff up from that. Probably not. I'm a huge Star Wars fan, by the way. But the mothership I have, so, and the new 5 pans and the pots, they look nice, and I'm sure they're good quality because all her stuff is good quality, but I am at that point in my makeup journey that I have so much. I feel like unless you all are clamoring to see it, or I just think it's truly special, I'm not going to buy it. So I don't know. There's something just lately that I've just been underwhelmed. And I think part of it is the Bridgerton collections. I just feel like this whole year has been that. For some reason, I feel like this is the vibe I have, and I just don't like the color story, and I don't like the fact that it was just repetitive. Again, no knock on the formula. It's not that. It's just not overwhelmed with any of it. Okay, Jones Road. I love a lot of Jones Road products because I think they're really easy to use. Her mascara is one of the best out there. Hands down. Really. One of the best mascaras. Her eyeliners are great. Her shadows are actually really good. Her single shadows. If you're looking for something easy, what stays on your eye, they're great. They're really, really great. Her WTF, and I know there was controversy about this because one influencer basically tried to slather it on her face, and that's not what you do with this product. But I can't get this to work for me either, and my skin is really dry. Now, I have committed to trying to use it a little bit more here now that we're about to turn into winter, which we are here in Massachusetts. It's been really cold the last couple of days. Any of you that are in the Northeast know, like, it's been cold. But the thing about this formula is that I can't seem to get, like, what its purpose is. Like, there's been other products that have come out, like Westman Atelier, their drops. I like those. I have very dry skin, so I think they're fine for me. Those are not going to work for everybody. But this, like, it's so tacky and so just sticky. And it never, for me anyway, it never got not sticky. Like, ever. I did a video with it where I think I compared it to the Westman Atelier drops, and I literally was able to stick a box to my face. Literally. It just stayed there. And I wasn't doing it just to be like snarky. It's just that you shouldn't be able to stick a box to your face. And I have really dry skin. Now, for those of you who haven't watched, I've talked about the fact that my skin has actually gotten less dry as I've gotten older. Who knows? We'll see what's going to happen in the winter. It's really not winter yet. We've got like another 10 days or whatever it is until it's officially winter. And for us in New England, it's January. That's the rough month. So, you know, we'll see. I'll use it in January when my skin is dehydrated and dry and see if it changes. But I have tried it a couple times yet and it still doesn't make my skin look dewy or make it feel more comfortable or make it look more plump. It just looks sticky, you know? And people who have dry skin or dehydrated skin or both, they want to look plumper. They want to look more dewy, or at least that's what I want to look like. I don't want to look sticky or oily for that matter. I just want to look healthy and glowy. And that does not do that. Again, at least not for me. So, okay. So we've got the last three brands, and they're large brands. Again, there are other brands that I tried things that I didn't love, but they weren't in the worst category, like Valentino and Hourglass and Rare Beauty and who am I forgetting? Givenchy and Guerlain. Like, and I'll get into those in a minute because there's a couple things there, but not products. But they weren't the worst. So worst, let's get to Dior. I have a couple. There's actually not that much. The luminizers that came out at the beginning of the year, mostly because there's nude and pink and they're the exact same luminizer because Dior can't seem to get their stuff straight a lot of the time. They've actually done it again for spring release, which I won't talk about yet because I'll get my channel taken down. But I'll talk about it when it's finally released and I'll tell you the funny story. But yeah, anyway. So basically, I have two pink luminizers. One's supposed to be nude, one's supposed to be pink. They're not. But they are slightly different, which is what obviously it was a manufacturing error. But they're not special. Like I have the other luminizers from Dior that had come out last year, I believe it was, and they're actually very pretty and I use them. There's one that's like, I forget, it's like white. I can't remember the name. And I actually like them. And I use them to this day. I think they're really nice luminizers and I think they're very pretty. They look good on the skin and they especially look good on drier skin, more mature skin. But the ones that came out this year were unnecessary. Like, because they didn't add anything to the existing collection. And I'll talk about that with some products that are coming up. In and of themselves are not bad, but they didn't add anything. You could have just kept what was already on the market, which you probably already owned, or would eventually be on sale. You didn't need to add something because a new product which didn't add anything. It's not any better. It doesn't add any new colors. The packaging is not more spectacular. Just nothing. It's just another thing to buy and spend money on, which I think is, for a lot of us, you know, like a money grab and insulting. So don't like that. The Overcurl mascara in Brick. I love Overcurl mascara and I like the blue a lot and I like the black very much. One of my favorite mascaras. This Brick shade I just think looks bad. And I have red hair. And in fact, I have hair that's almost the color of this mascara. I just don't think it looks good. I think it makes your eyes look ill. I'll be honest, I don't remember what I first said when I tried it, but I like the formula. I very much doubt I said anything bad about the formula because the formula is the same. And I probably was just like, well, it's fine. But honestly, the more I wore it, like if you try to wear it with different shadows on it just looks, it makes you look, it made me look sick. It made my eyes look bad. It's not good. It's just not a good color. And I know, like, Pat McGrath did it too with her blue and her green and her pink. And those are more fun. And those are more like, in my opinion, again, this is just me talking about my life and me. I think they're meant for a younger audience because I'm not going to wear pink or blue to my office. And that's what takes up most of my life. And on the weekends when I'm doing something casual, I'm still not going to wear pink or blue mascara. I think it's fun though. I do like it. And I think like wearing it on the tips of your eyelashes or something is fun. But again, I probably wouldn't spend that much money on it. And the formula, by the way, and those are actually good. But this one I just think is the wrong color. Like I just don't think it looks good. And I really don't know who it would look good on. So The next product I've talked about a million times, and this is just bad. I'm sorry, but it's just bad. This is the Christian Dior loose powder. This is the Millefiore packaging, which is stunning. Love the Millefiore packaging, in fact. I have the candles and the cases for the lipstick. Loved the packaging. But it's glitter. It's just glitter in here, guys. I've tried mixing it up. I've tried a bunch of things. You can use it on your body if you want to have like more of just like a glittery kind of look. But I honestly would rather buy Chanel body oil for that has like glitter in it. This doesn't, I don't put powder on my body. Like I use powder, but not, you know what I mean? Like I have dry skin. So, and again, this isn't marketed as a body powder or glitter powder. So I really think it's bad. The Mineral Glow one that came out the year before, it has the same properties. And I don't understand if it's because of the device, the cushion, and maybe like it's not finely milled enough that all of it can move through the compact, and so you just don't get a good look with it. I don't know. But they've done it twice now, and both times I've hated it. So, it's disappointing because the other Dior powder, their lavender powder, I love, and I think it's awesome. So I don't know. I don't know what's happening there. But yeah, it's bad. It's bad and I hate it. So there you go. Yeah, so that's Dior. Honestly, all the eyeshadows that came out, there's many of them that I really, really like. And the holiday collection I think is actually beautiful. But I do want to mention in Dior, I also think there's some repetitive work going on here. You know, I was talking about Pat McGrath before. You know, I have the spring collections and possibly the summer collections for Dior, and they'll be over on Patreon. But, like, really, Dior? Like, and it's not just Dior. I mean, I'll call out other, you know, there's other, like, I'll talk about Chanel in a minute. Like, come on. You know, your products are going up in price astronomically. Become a little bit more creative. Do something different. Anything different would be great. So, okay. That's Dior. Let's move to Chanel. Okay, Chanel. Chanel, one of my favorite brands. Yes, I'm biased. I worked for them for some time, many, many years ago. And plus, I just like Chanel. I like Chanel aesthetics. I love Chanel bags. I am going to be doing a luxury bag video. I know you guys have asked for it. It's coming. Everything's going to have to wait towards the end of December, guys. The work has been just nuts. But Chanel comes out with things sometimes where I'm just like, what are you doing? Why? And the newest thing is oversized packaging. And sometimes I love it. When they did the oversized bronzers, love the oversized bronzers. They may be on my best of list. Yeah, awesome. Love oversized bronzers. There are two other products that came out though that I don't understand. And again, oversized. And I'll have a Will I Buy It going up soon as well that has oversized face palette for Chanel. And I'm like, okay, I get it. You're into oversized. And I understand, like, you're coming out with a theme, you're doing oversized things, that's fine, but make it make sense for people, right? Like, an oversized bronzer makes sense because usually it's a big brush, you use your whole face. A lot of us bronze, like, every day, even if we do less of it. Okay, that's fine. An oversized highlighter? Maybe it could work. Like, maybe you need that much highlighter, but if you do, make it a good highlighter and make the ones that you offer different. So there's two that came out this year. One that did not come to the US market and one that did. And the one that didn't is the Le Beige's Oversized Healthy Glow Highlighting Powder. And I really feel like these are just more like a healthy powder, like for your whole face. Because there's soft peach and tender pink. And honestly, there's very little difference. Very little difference. Again, I did videos on these. And they are beautiful soft powder, but they're not highlighters. I mean, they're powder. They're pretty. Depending on your coloring, you might want the pink or the peach, and it warms up your face or just gives you a nice, like, healthy glow to your face, but they're not highlighters. They're a healthy powder. So if you want powder for your face, that's it. It's all there. And who's going to need that much of it? just saying. Yeah. I mean, they're nice. They're fine. They're healthy glow powder, but seriously, Chanel? And I think they were like $90. So no. If you're gonna have a highlighter, have it be a highlighter. And if it's gonna be a healthy powder, like a powder for your face, then have it be a really good powder. Either it's super mattifying for people who want that, and people who have oily skin and want a mattifying powder, or for someone like me who wants a powder that actually makes them look brightening and glowy. I have a bunch of them for this year, which is like the first time ever. So, and I'll talk about those in the best list. But this doesn't do either. So I don't understand the point. So that's a no. And then for the holidays, they came out with the oversized illuminating face powders in rose, and what was the other one? It's rose and doré. And honestly, guys, I love the packaging. I think it looks really cool because again, aesthetic, but it doesn't serve any purpose. I don't understand. They're not that different either. Like the shades, they're not. And this is a highlighter? Okay. It says illuminating face powder. So it doesn't even say highlighting, which the other one does, which doesn't make any sense to me. Because these are more, quote, highlighting than those. But again, they're not, like, I get it. Like, you could use that as sort of a highlighting powder, like if you want a very subtle highlight, or maybe all over the face if you used a really soft, big, huge brush. But then why these shades, and why are they so close together? And I don't know. To me, it's a fail. I think they're $90. They're not necessary. They're not one thing or the other. The shades I don't think are particularly different, which is annoying. And I'm not sure why you'd use them. Like, does anyone actually use that much highlighter? And you know what? Maybe you do. Maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm the only one. I'm not even wearing highlighter today. So maybe I'm the only one who doesn't wear highlighter, like that much of it. But I don't think so. And even if you did, then make it a really good highlighter. Or make it a really good luminizing powder. Neither one is true of any of those. Can you see I'm in a salty mood? Yeah, I haven't had a lot of sleep. That's what happens when I don't have a lot of sleep. And I don't drink coffee. So I don't have the ability to just drink coffee, and like it doesn't work. Wish it did. These are also highlighters, or I think they're highlighters. I'm not really sure. It says multi-use highlighting top coat. I don't know what that means. They're the Stylo Luminaire Regard. There is 2 shades, and I'll put them down below because honestly, I'm too tired to figure out the French. If you have been watching my unboxing every day on Instagram, my Guerlain advent calendar, I've been trying really hard with the French guys. So, give me some props here. I really tried to pronounce things correctly. But these, I don't understand them because they're super subtle and like they're super bright, super light. This one's basically glitter, which I don't particularly love. And this one has more of a lightning brightening thing. So like, I'm like, okay, you could maybe use this under the eye, but then just call it an under eye brightening pen. Like, instead of a top coat. And to be honest with you, when I use this, because I've used it a couple of times, I don't even feel like, it's fine, but my Chantecaille, my Yves Saint Laurent, and my Sicily ones are all better. So and these are expensive, and I don't use, kind of sit in my drawer, which is just a waste. So yeah, I'm going to be having to do a declutter in 2023. I've already decluttered actually quite a few things. I'm sending things to friends and family, like boxes of stuff, but I'm going to have to do it more because I'm just going to run out of space. Okay, so last but not least is Tom Ford. And Tom Ford, and there's 2 other things I'll talk about, but it's more of a generalization. Tom Ford is a conundrum for me because some of the things that have come out from, similar to Chanel and Dior actually, are like favorites. And I really like the direction that he's gone in with his creme formula. Love that formula. And I'm really, really excited about what's coming in January, February, March from Tom Ford. Can't talk about it again. Channel. Maybe I'll put some stuff over on Patreon if I can. I might be able to do that. So I'm really excited about that. This, though, has been a year of like, oh, I love that, to this is terrible. It's just bad. That discrepancy, I think, makes people like unhappy. It makes me unhappy because I don't know what I'm going to get like every time I place the order, and the prices have gone up a lot, like a lot. So things are very expensive. We're still talking about like that $90 range, and then you're just kind of like, it's not good, or it's okay. First thing I'll talk about is the highlighters. So these, I got 3 of them. I think there are 4 shades. One is Mood Light, which I already had, but it was supposedly a nude formula, so I wanted to try it. And they are the Shade and Illuminate highlighting duos. And here's the thing. The reason they're on my worst list is because I don't think they improved upon the old formula in any way. As far as I can tell, they're basically the same as the old formula, except maybe a little bit more shimmery that highlights texture a little bit more. They came out with new shades, which I think is great, because the shades that they had before really didn't work for a lot of people, and these are deeper toned highlighters, which I think that's good. But I don't think they improved upon the formula. In fact, I think it's worse. So I don't know why you would take something that was already excellent, create a new formula that's not as good, charge more, but come out with more shades. It doesn't equate for me. So I don't know what Tom Ford did. I don't know if there was like ingredients in there, like in the old one, that he couldn't use anymore, or it's a clean formula thing. I don't know. I do not have insight into that. But I don't think it's better. I don't like it more. And the only thing I can say is he came out with more shades, which again is good, but he could have done that with the old formula. So that's a fail. The Soleil Après Ski and the Chalet Lust. I've talked about these. I don't like them. I understand that you can make them work. I understand that you can make them pretty. I've done it myself where I've worked these, like done them wet, done them like, yes, I get it, but not for $90. Like, I'm sorry, they should be better. They just should be. There should be more difference in tone. There should be more options in a palette. It shouldn't give you one look no matter what you do. You shouldn't have to be talented. No. The Eye and Cheek palette, this is the one in white suede. You notice it's still in its box. It does work actually very well on me, and the formula is actually okay, but it takes a lot to get the pigment out, and I don't understand why. Like, again, if you're spending that much money, you're spending hundreds of dollars for these things, or close to that. There shouldn't be the, oh, I found a way to make it look. No. It should work for people. It just should work, and it should be beautiful, and it should be stunning, and the package should be amazing, and all of those things, because it's a lot of money. You know, it's a lot of money. Sorry, it just is. In that vein is also the Bitter Peach. I was going to bring it out again, but I've literally talked about that so many times this year because it's like my worst product of all time, in my opinion. Like, I have never hated something so much as that eyeshadow palette. And I think it's because I was really excited about the peach tones and the peach packaging, because I thought that looked really cool. And it irritated my eyes. Using it irritated my eyes. My eyes had like a redness to them afterwards, because I think I had to I tried them wet. I tried building it up. One of them was like, I had to scratch it to get it to work. Yeah, it was bad. Anyway, so those are the Tom Fords that I really did not like this year, and would not encourage any of you to buy. I also want to mention, I forgot to mention it early on, Danessa Myricks had the Yummy Skin, like the foundation. That looked really bad on me, and I could not get that to work either. That was the other foundation this year that just was a total fail. I've heard other people really like it and it works well for them. It could be the dryness of my skin. It looked bad on me. There's a video where I used it and you can see it. It just could not get that to work at all. And 2 other things I want to mention as a general note. So Guerlain, I loved the Guerlain items that came out this year. May or may not be a product on my best list, but I was really disappointed that there wasn't a Meteorites for holiday. And I know that sounds kind of silly and maybe a little petty, but I look forward to the Meteorites, the Guerlain Meteorites holiday editions, and I collect them. So they're in the back somewhere over there. There we go. So yeah, that was like a huge disappointment and a fail in my perspective, because I expected a meteorites and there wasn't one, and I don't know why. Like there was nothing. There was no like notice. Now I mean, again, they don't have the obligation to tell us, but there's always been one. So not always, but you know. So I was like, where is it? Disappointing. And the Cle de Peau holiday powder, which I really, really like, and again, maybe on a best list. But this was impossible to get in the United States. Like really nearly impossible. And in fact, I did not get mine from the United States. So for all of those of you who are outside the United States that were easily able to pick it up and where it was in your store and it was online for you, that's awesome, and I'm glad. But I'd love to know what happened, because it was never something that we got clarification on. And I have a Cle de Peau essay at Saks, and like she didn't have any clarification. There were other people like, no, this is why, or we're not going to get it, or we are going to get nothing. It just didn't appear. It just never showed up, which I think is a huge fail on Cle de Peau's part. Like if you advertise it and it was in pictures, it was in the pictures, and then it just wasn't available, or if it was available, it was available in incredibly limited amounts, at least explain why. And from what I understand, the regular loose powder is also not easily available and has been out of stock in a lot of places for like a very long time. So if there's something going on with manufacturing or something going on with supply chain, I think we're all adults, we'd understand. I just feel like it's a huge fail not to say anything, because then people get aggravated and irritated that they can't get it, or no one's telling them anything, or they expected to buy it and they put money aside, or they planned for it and then it doesn't show up. Or you are like me and you had to buy it somewhere else. So that is my worst of list of 2022. Now, I'm going to tell you, as I look around, I find it interesting that it's mostly eye products and like highlighters, powdery products. I don't really have blushes, and I don't really have lip products. And I was like, huh. And so I tried to rack my brain for a lip product that I really disliked. I don't like the Dior lip tints, and I mentioned that in my mid-year favorites and fails. Like I was like, I don't like these. They're drying, and I don't think they're comfortable, and I think they make my lips like the Sahara Desert, and they still do. But I know they work for a lot of people, and people like them for what they are, because they don't have lips as dry as mine. So I'm like, okay, I won't mention it again. It is in my mid-year. But honestly, there were a lot of lip products that I really liked this year that I think, again, best of, that I was really impressed with. New formulas, they're on my lips right now. Lots of new products that I'm surprised. There's one that came at the end of the year that I'm like, oh, I actually like that. Didn't see that coming. So, you know, I couldn't think of anything other than the Dior lip tint that I hated. The Guerlain stingy lip things, I don't love those either. But I've talked about them, and they weren't my worst of. Like, they weren't things that I'm just like chucking out the window or want to get or want to give away. They're just not things I like, but that's not quite the same. And so I feel like I'm missing something. I feel like there's some lip product that I've tried that I hated and that you guys will remember, but I don't. So if there is and it comes to mind, let me know. And like I said, blushes, there aren't any that I hated that I can think of. The Gucci's I don't like, and I've said it before. I don't think they're worth what they are, and the packaging is really pretty, like really pretty, but I don't think the inside lives up to that at all. But it wasn't, like when I was trying to narrow this down to things I really, really didn't like, it was either because I think the product's bad, or because I think I expect so much from the brand or the product that they failed me. I don't, like Gucci, to me, I don't think of like best of beauty when I think of Gucci. There are some Gucci things I really like. I think of Gucci, I think of purses and shoes and like, you know, so it's not my go-to for beauty. So I wasn't expecting a lot. I was just kind of like, meh, okay. And that's what I got. So that's fine. I still think they're way overpriced, but I don't hate them. A lot of these things I really dislike, or I just expected so much more, and I know they can do so much better because I have things from them on my best list, which I love. And that's why I find the dichotomy, like, just, I can't, you know, I'm like, no, this is not okay. But if there is something that I've missed and I've glossed over and I've somehow forgotten, I'm sure you guys will remember and you will remind me. So thank you so much for watching the video. Thank you so much for an amazing 2022. I'll be talking more about it in later wrap-up videos, but as hopefully you all know, there's a bunch of giveaways going on this month. And the video that just went up on Thursday, the haul video, at least hopefully I did it that way, will have a giveaway in it as well. There should be 3 for this month. There's a bunch of stuff in there. I'll have pictures on Instagram. I'll have like a lay flat so you can see more and more detail as well, but it'll all be over on Instagram. So thanks so much for joining me today, guys. I really do appreciate it. And I hope to see you in another video really soon. Bye.